Peter. It's Carrie Bennett. I'm the costume designer on Scrubs. And to answer your question about how much input the actors get in what they wear, not much. Actually, we're shooting our 5th season right now, so I think at this point they trust me to make them look as best as they can. I mean, it's my job. That's what I think about all the time, how to make them look good. But we move really fast, so I kind of have to make decisions for them. Of course, they totally have a say. In the beginning, we set up what they like and what they don't like. And we review that every once in a while. But it's usually me chasing them down the hall in between scenes. Like, do you like this? Do you like this shirt? How about this underwear? I don't know. So I hope that answers your question. Thanks.
Hi, it's Barbara Fetzer, payroll accountant. My favorite episode today is the one I actually saw last week, My Misperception. I just thought it was extremely funny. I laughed, but thinking about it, the episodes I really like are the ones that I have my name at the end credit.
Roderick from Germany asks, isn't it always hard to play the bad guy? What are your feelings?
Not if you are the bad guy.
Fair enough.
My favorite Scrubs episode was the very first Scrubs episode, the pilot, in which it's everybody's first day at the hospital, and they're all nervous, and it's so funny, and I even got a little teary-eyed. Oh.
So, I'm Jim Oliveri. I'm the construction coordinator. I'm in charge of all set construction on Scrubs. And we have a question from Peter. And it's in regards what I feel is the most unusual set or different set that we've built for the show. And the first one that comes to my mind is back in the 2nd season of Scrubs, we built as one of our finale sets an entire office that was to look like a Hershey's chocolate bar, in which we had the little Hershey squares all over. We had chocolate desks. Chairs that looked like chocolate, the carpet that looked like chocolate. I had to say that was one of the most fun sets to build if you like chocolate, and we're fond of chocolate here in Scrubs Construction. Also, I would say in an up-and-coming episode, one of the more interesting sets, I'm not allowed to say.
No, you can say.
Is our sandcastle, which was a little bit on the challenging side to make a giant sandcastle that one can stand in. And I have to say that was probably 2 of the most unusual sets. End of discussion.
Well, my favorite episode was My Life in 4 Cameras because we got to do some exciting multicam work and it was a fun night.
Mike from Canada, you wanted to know how I would like Scrubs to end with JD and Elliot together or not. I would like Scrubs not to end. So if that means JD and Elliot getting together in, say, 30 or 40 years, I'm good with that. But I would like to keep working here until I'm 90 because it's a pretty good gig. So, and you also want to know if Heather Graham and Cheryl Hines on Scrubs were somehow connected to the fact that the 3 of us did the movie Cake together in Toronto a couple of years ago. It was totally not connected. I was actually filming Cake at the time with Heather when that whole thing was being worked out, and it was totally separate and apart. And then all of us here love Curb Your Enthusiasm and think Cheryl Hines is hysterical, and we're really excited when she could come on. And so it was all totally unrelated.
My favorite episode was Mark Buckland's episode in season 1 called My Old Lady.
So Crows asks, what do you think has been your biggest episode in terms of scale and production so far, and do you hope to top that anytime soon? Our biggest episode, I would say by far, was one that Zach directed last season called My Last Chance. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember. We do so many here, it's like a big blur. Anyway, it was the last of the story arc with Heather Graham. And so he was basically racing to say goodbye to her, and we did this big sequence on the back lot at Universal Studios where he had to zip cord out of a 3-story building down into a pile of trash to catch up to her car, and we had to build a matching set down the hallway here, and it seemed like we were all over the map on that one, and we had lots of stuff to do. Do you hope to top that anytime soon? Well, if you watch this season, we have some big ones coming up. But pretty much every episode this season almost topped that one. The next step would be for us to light everything on fire and blow it up, and that would probably top everything. So keep watching.
My favorite Scrubs episode is My Life in 4 Cameras.
This question is from Eric. He asks, why would you have a diabetic like Turk gorging on donuts in last week's episode? Did you forget? Well, Eric, we did not forget, but we have it on good authority that diabetics once in a while do forget what they're supposed to do and gorge on sweet foods. And we know this because one of our writer-producers, Mark Stegman, is a diabetic.
Come on, Mark.
And,
you're better than that. All right, not that. Jesus. Thanks.
His blood sugar goes crazy. We all worry, and we're okay. So that's it.
Drew, what's your favorite episode?
Mine was when Drew was the chef in the kitchen.
And Drew, what's yours?
I actually with the hard-boiled eggs.
Excellent. Jeff, what's your favorite episode?
My Overkill.
Nadine, favorite episode?
My Philosophy.
Oh, that's a good one. That's one of my favorites. Ryan?
We've done him.
Have you ever seen the show?
I watched it actually last week. It was good. Nice little thing you guys got going on here. Nice project. I like it.
You gonna stay?
4 people in one sit. Okay, we're here with Sean Kroll, Key Grip of Scrubs, and Todd from Carrollton, Georgia, wrote in, and he would like to know who's going to win the Super Bowl this season.
Well, Todd and all the other folks out there in email land, I'll tell you, it's going to be a Pittsburgh victory. Pittsburgh Steelers going all the way. Troy Polamalu, number 43, unstoppable. It's going to be a great game. Hope everybody tunes in. And I hope they're tuning in to Scrubs to watch our 100th episode this evening, which you will love and enjoy.
And Sean, what's your favorite episode?
My favorite episode is the one where we had the entire cast of Good Times reunited. It was awesome, man, seeing JJ and everybody here. They all ran amok in the hospital. It was really cool. But, I don't think that one's been on. But it's coming, so you guys will have to check it out. Maybe on a DVD or something like that. It's really good.
All right, Sean, thanks a lot.
My favorite episode is my scrub.
Rob Walsh from Canada, you wanted to know if my being Canadian has been a hindrance at all. No, it actually, I think, helps because there's so much filming that happens in Vancouver. So, when I was from like 12 on, got to work in a lot of the production that was happening up there. So that was great. And then you're also saying that Johnny C. and Bill had mentioned my Canadian roots in the DVD extras and that you thought it was a weird thing to mention. Has it been a negative thing here? And no, except I have had to go into looping a couple of times. There's Danny Rose, post-production right there, who makes me say them over and over again when I say things like out and about. If I'm talking really quickly in something and I forget to say out or about, then I have to go down to looping, which is basically where you sit in a sound booth and you replace the dialogue that they have on screen because you've said mum instead of mom or something like that.
Hi, this is A Park, Post Supervisor for Scrubs Season 5. My favorite episode of Scrubs would have to be in first season, number 104, My Two Dads. And it's the battle between Kelso and Cox. And this is where JD first realizes the differences between the two. And I love the parody that they have at the end of the show of Star Wars, where Kelso is Darth Vader and Cox is Obi-Wan Kenobi, the older one, by the way, from The New Hope. And Turk is Han Solo with this crazy wig that he's wearing, and Neil plays Chewbacca, while the ladies Elliot and Carla are the Princess Leias, and they got their hair like totally in these cinnamon bun rolls on the sides. But I just knew from that moment on that this show was going to be special. So that's what I remember most. Even though there are other great episodes of Scrubs, I remember watching that in the beginning, that it was going to be a hit. So thank you very much. And there will be many more. Oh, by the way, the best is yet to come. So I think there will be a lot more great hits. This is not the end. This is just the beginning.
The question came from Harry, and he asked who was most like their character and who didn't have to act as much as the other actors. Definitely the Todd. There's really no acting going on there. Rob Macchio, he pretty much is the Todd. I don't know if his name is even Rob Macchio. It might be Todd Macchio. the tattoo's real, and obviously the sleeveless shirt, the mechanic look. He's trying to bring it back. I think it's going good, and yeah, he doesn't act at all.
It's Rob Maschio, I play the Todd, and there's just one other question that I wanted to answer before I said goodbye to you guys, and it comes from Rosario, and the answer to the question is yes, anytime you want, and thank you for the pictures. Anyway, take care, talk to you later.
Hey, I'm just looking over some blog questions from Bill Lawrence. This one's for Roderick. He says, is a sixth season possible? Why yes, why no? Well, Roderick, I would say that the odds are about 80 to 20 that there's going to be a sixth season of the show. Partly because we're actually doing well this year on NBC, and they only have 2 comedies right now, as of now, coming back next year, The Office and Earl. And partly because if it's not on NBC next year, the show is 100% owned by ABC, and I would imagine it would be on that network. You also wanted to know if Mr. Lawrence, please call me Bill, Roderick, Mr. Lawrence chooses all the music. I do choose all the music, but only after it's brought to me. The person that gets the most songs on is my wife, believe it or not. She's obsessive about bringing new bands in. Neil Goldman, all the writers here, Zach Braff, everybody brings in songs. We listen to them and we try to build a show around them. And a lot of us still actually go out to local music clubs and try to find small bands that people don't know about, or obscure songs that people don't know. Name my favorite song on the show. My favorite song on the show so far, I like the use of the song The Question. It's by Rhett Miller, he's the lead singer of a band called the Old 97s, when Turk asked Carl to marry him. I also liked an obscure one by Neil Lara called Fighting for My Love, the first time JD and Elliot kissed. So that's good. I'm going to go to some other. I'm going to answer a question for Sarah. Were you actually topless in his story too? Sarah was not. I was. I was just off camera, and I just do that to make the actors and actresses comfortable in sex scenes. Now, Sarah was not actually topless. In Hollywood, as they say, they would wear these weird, odd, pasty flower things. I'm wearing them now. They look like little things that you would have in the bottom of your bathtub to keep from slipping. That stuff. Let me see. Oh, Michelle has a question. It's my understanding that the free clinic bar scenes were shot on location until the 3rd season. Are you guys at liberty to divulge the name of the bars used? Cool fans of the area can visit them. You know what? That's not true. The free clinic bar, we did use an actual bar once or twice, but we only did that because we built all our sets here in the hospital. And where the bar is, where the bar set's built, is a swing set area. So if there's a show that has a lot of extra sets, a lot of swing sets, someone else's apartment, a banquet hall, stuff like that, it's cheaper for us to just build those sets there, and then we go to one of the bars in the neighborhood. Does anybody know any of the names of the bars?
Green Frog.
Is it the Green Frog? They're all in the Valley, Woodman area. Where are some of the bars in the neighborhood that we've used before?
There's one up your ass.
That's not helpful on a blog. Wow. By the way, that's what it's like all day here. What's the significance of license plate 2fan321? It's been used a couple times in the show with no clear explanation. I'll tell you the explanation, Michelle. The explanation is that license plates are a lot like phone numbers, and it is near impossible to find a license plate that's not an actual license plate. And so when you find one, you use it over and over again, just so you you don't have to clear a different fake license plate all the time. But you caught us obviously, so we should probably change that. Here's one for me. Pavan, P-A-V-A-N, asked, do you think the show may have gotten too wacky? And a lot of fans over at TWOP, which I assume is some kind of website, Television Without Pity, are complaining about Elliot's constant high voice and JD's extreme cockiness and gayness. I do think the show has gotten too wacky, and that's really why I'm here 7 days a week, working 24 hours a day, because I think it sucks so much. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to turn it around. No, I'm joking. You know what? I don't. No, I think I think that the show sometimes is too wacky and sometimes too dramatic, and that the ones that are the most successful are when we go right in the middle. But I certainly do know that we're we do what we think is funny, and hope that you guys continue to like it. See what else. Can you use some Harry Nilsson music in the show from Kenny? Who's Harry Nilsson?
He sang "Everybody's Talking at Me."
Oh yeah.
I can't believe a word. He's from the 70s.
This guy from the 70s?
Early 70s.
All right, Kenny, man, he's from the 70s. We go to know newer, more modern stuff, but I'll listen to it. I don't know him.
Yeah, we'll get you some.
If Sebastian, if the 2006 Bill Lawrence, the handsome 2006 Bill Lawrence model was to fashion hijack, steal, or otherwise gain access to a time machine of some description so that he might travel to 2001, are there any major changes you'd want to make in the early arcs of the show? The main one, I think, is that I always hated those sound effects at the beginning. I'm glad they're gone. People's heads used to, here, somebody do them for me. This is what the show used to be like. You keep the camera on me, okay? You ready? There you go. All right, I wish that wasn't there because it's embarrassing when I see him. Other than that, I think that when we had Elliot and JD hook up, that it seemed a little too much like we were going to do Will They or Won't They and have them be a couple that we tracked, and they're not going to be. Besides that, I think that the things that people sometimes take issue with, just looking at some of the questions, like that, Elliot is very cocky and then very neurotic and then, suddenly really competent again, or that JD is insecure and then confident, and the things go back and forth. I happen to think if you examine your own lives, you'll find that you aren't as consistent as you want TV characters to be, and I think that's kind of why I like the ups and downs of everybody's characters so far. Harry Worsnip, Harry says, which actor or actress would you refuse to have on the show as a guest star? Rob Lowe. I don't need to explain. No, I'm joking. I don't know Rob Lowe. I would suppose, I wouldn't, you know what? We're actually having this discussion because of the O.J. Simpson factor, that we all think he's creepy and scary, but how funny it would be if we got him on the show just to make one of those jokes. He did it. You did it, O.J. I say that because he reads the blog, which is very cool. All right. Crows. This one's for Crows. K-R-O-Z-E. Do you have a set ending for the show? And if so, care to give us some spoilers on how you would like it to end? I actually do know how this show ends. I've always had an idea in my head for what the last episode is. I think it's pretty cool. I will not put it out here because then it would kind of ruin the surprise for everybody. But Crows, if you're like an obsessive fan and you want to know, you can actually call me at 310